confidential information has Pepsi removed from our access? What is the secret formula of Pepsi drink? What are the secrets behind Pepsi advertisements that most consumers are unaware of? Let's uncover the answers to these mysteries in this fascinating video.
Once upon a time, there was a Pepsi. Other than Pepsi, there was no other refreshing soda. The story of the Pepsi brand dates back to about 100 years ago, starting with the discovery of a chemical formula to treat investigations. This tale continued to unfold, with the Pepsi brand announcing sales of over $86 billion during the year 2022. We review the history of the Pepsi brand and the other strategies that have led to its success. Join us to get better acquainted with the Pepsi brand. The Pepsi brand is born when, in 1893, a drink called Brad's drink emerged in the city of the New Bern. Brad's drink is a homemade medical beverage created by Caleb Bradham, a pharmacist who owns a pharmacy in the city. Besides medicine, he makes homemade drinks and, by combining different ingredients, tries to compete with alcoholic beverages, which are very popular. One of the Caleb Davis Bradham's creations stands out from the rest, and it's made using vanilla powder and sugar. Bradham also uses cola nuts in making this drink and tries to adjust its ingredients so that, besides being delicious and appealing, it increases the body's energy levels and reveals indigestions. Since indigestions is called dyspepsia in English, Bradham names his drink Pepsi. At this time, several years have passed since the introduction of Coca-Cola, and to indicate that his beverage contains cola nuts, Bradham names it Pepsi Cola, and thus the formula for Pepsi was discovered. The Pepsi factory was established in the early years of the 20th century in the back room of that same pharmacy, and within a few years, two branches of it were created in two other cities in America. Pepsi in World War I. The passing of the prohibition of addictive and dangerous chemicals law in 1907 becomes a launching pad for the Pepsi brand. Under this law, sales of Coca-Cola are reduced due to its use of cocaine in its ingredients, while Pepsi-Cola sales experience significant growth. Sales of Pepsi soda had been growing significantly even before the outbreak of World War I due to the natural ingredients it contained. To further boost sales of this carbonated beverage, Mr. Bradham resorts to advertising. Caleb Bradham calls the Pepsi formula exhilarating and uses the opportunity of car racing competitions to advertise Pepsi soda, a thrilling drink for a refreshing pastime. Now, the Pepsi brand name is more on everyone's lips than ever before. But this era, which is the peak period for the Pepsi brand, coincides with the onset of World War I. The scarcity resulting from World War I in 1914 poses a problem for one of Pepsi's key factory ingredients, sugar. The Pepsi factory owner can't come up with a solution other than hoarding sugar. Sugar hoarding during the 4 years of World War I and the subsequent price drop. After the ceasefire depleted the capital that this brand had amassed during its peak, and Pepsi went bankrupt. The popularity of Pepsi brand increased with timely identification of the South American market until World War II broke out. Pepsi prioritized supplying energy to soldiers present in the war as a cheerful beverage. Consequently, trucks carrying crates of six-pack Pepsi soda were sent to the front lines. During this period, the story of the Pepsi brand is the story of a supportive and patriotic brand. This brand, after World War II, embarked on a rebranding strategy to align itself with the American national spirit. The company set aside the Pepsi brand logo, which represented the typography of its name. The new Pepsi logo was constructed from the color palette of the American flag, consisting of three colors: blue, red, and white, with the name Pepsi-Cola written in the middle. Although in those years the concept of rebranding as we know it today did not exist, but Pepsi's rebranding on the cusp of 1940s changed the mindset of its audience and gave it nationalistic and patriotic dimensions. Pepsi advertising strategies in the post-war era. The Pepsi brand is remembered in the 1930s and 1940s for a melodic advertising jingle that was broadcasted on radio and television. The first line of this advertising jingle, "Pepsi-Cola hits the spot," became the slogan for Pepsi soda during this era. The primary focus of Pepsi's branding during his time, as emphasized in the lyrics of this advertising jingle, was the refreshing taste of Pepsi soda. With the end of World War II, Pepsi's marketing strategy and branding reverts to the pre-war era. This involves running engaging advertising campaigns targeting new persons or post-war generation. In the 1950s and 1960s, Pepsi's marketing efforts heavily target the youth and children. However, Pepsi brand also leveraged sexual appeal in its advertising posters to not lose its adult audience. During this period, many famous faces start shining in Pepsi's Sky story. The successful marriage of the CEO of the 1940s with a cinema star positively impacts the success of Pepsi's advertising. Using well-known faces, mostly adored by the youth, became Pepsi's main objective in the advertising in the 1970s and 1980s. Pepsi employs famous singers like Madonna and Michael Jackson to enhance the effectiveness of its marketing campaigns. The aim of focusing on its new personas is to maintain a high level of energy and portray the Pepsi brand as youthful. Pepsi in the 21st century. In the past 23 years, Pepsi has achieved significant milestones in branding and marketing. Most of Pepsi's advertising initiatives have involved financial support and sponsorship of various sports clubs. Among all the collaborative efforts Pepsi has undertaken with other brands, its partnership with Tesla stands out. Tesla recently launched a project to design and produce smart freight trucks, with Pepsi being one of its first customers. It's possible that in not so distant future, Pepsi will send its products to wholesalers and retailers using Tesla's fully automated vehicles. The collaboration between Pepsi and Tesla indicates that Pepsi's advertising strategies remain forward-thinking and youth-oriented. The brand is willing to collaborate with major players like Tesla to emphasize its youthful image and stay relevant. just as Pepsi has chosen to live for now as its slogan. It's positioned itself to stand alongside the lifestyle of today's youth, attracting attention while maintaining the brand's energy. Pepsi at a glance. Pepsi is one of the most recognized brands globally, leaving a powerful image in the minds of its audience. The history of the Pepsi brand demonstrates its emphasis on appealing to the younger generation. Hence, its slogan, "Live for Now," is fitting. Thank you for your attention and the time you've dedicated to watching the video. We hope this content has been informative and engaging for you. Just like the video right now and subscribe to us. Goodbye until the next videos.